Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Jasmine from Jasmine's Eternal Circle. Tonight I'm so honored to be able to do a little blurb about a spirit guide painting that I just finished recently. So this is a spirit guide painting that I did for this individual. In this painting there's a ton of different symbolisms. Very nice guy coming through. She's very nurturing, comforting. This type of guide is a teacher, but she's also a very kind of like not just a teacher, but she's there for more of like self-development and guidance. So we have a few animal symbolisms. We have a crow, we have the bobcat, we have fireflies, and we have a white rabbit at the bottom. Crows are often seen as tricksters in a lot of different mythologies and beliefs. They are also known as symbols of transformation, psychic abilities, intelligence, cleverness. They can also be tied into transformative and life magics as well. Crows are seen to be one of those creatures that are able to transform into different shapes. They are also believed in the Fae world as well to be able to go between the mundane and the Fae world. Then we also, when we look at crows and ravens, they're a little bit different, but the analogies are very similar too. Now we go on to the bobcat, and the bobcat is about self-reliance. Bobcat is also bringing forth the symbolism of not overextending yourself. When I say that, you're putting too much of yourself in one space, or putting yourself into too much at once, overwhelming yourself, right? So the bobcat is reminding you to slow down and take time for yourself. Maybe take some time to do some introspection as well. Take a look at yourself and see what you need and what you need to be at peace with. Bobcat can also symbolize new cycles as well in your path coming up as well. The other one is the white rabbit. Rabbits in general, they look at gentleness, fertility, they look at prosperity as well and good luck. White rabbits are symbolism towards spiritual adventures, new beginnings, as well as possible spiritual awakenings. When we get down to fireflies, we are looking at enjoying the simplicity of life. So enjoying the small things, taking time for yourself. Once again, the symbolism of overextending yourself comes through again, and that's just reinstating, you need to take some time for yourself where you can, to kind of enjoy time for yourself, without feeling overwhelmed or stressed, doing too many things at once. The other one is for the fireflies is having an abundance of strength in order to push through any kind of obstacles that you might be facing as well. When we look at plant symbology, we have the calla lilies, which are down here, and the calla lilies represent holiness and purity, divinity. Because they are white, they represent innocence. They also represent fertility as well. And fertility, when we talk about fertility, fertility can be looked at as more of an opportunity of creation. So being able to create through magics, or create through poetry, writing, painting or crafting, different ways to create, different ways to bring life to something, right? Even gardening is a way of creation as well. Then we have the other plant source at the bottom here, which is the Blackberry Bush. The Blackberry Bush is about abundance. Okay, so it's about being able to work hard, but being able to overcome the risks of what you're doing and being able to have that pay off successfully. When we look at blackberry thorns, they can be used in magic in order for protection purposes. Blackberry is also thought to have a lot of healing components to it, such as aiding on digestive issues, possibly hernias, other illnesses, but those I tend to stay away from just because of the fact that they are like old representations of old medical reviews of what blackberries could be used for, right? I'm not saying that they don't work for right now, but I'm saying that maybe consult a doctor if you're having issues. And the other thing is that blackberries also promote the symbolism of prosperity, flexibility, and vigor and tenacity. When we look at the other symbologies in this painting, we have fire. Fire represents passion, desires, rebirth. It can also represent destruction depending on how you view it. In this case, because of the overtones of this painting, I would think that it would represent rebirth, only because of the idea behind this is it's sounding a lot to do with a new journey, a new pathway, something to do with new beginnings, whether that's spiritually inclined, which is what I'm picking up on. There's something new heading to this person's way in the spiritual realm of things. Crazy cats. Then we have on her belt, she has these bells. Bells are about beginnings and endings. However, bells can be used for banishment and protection as well. You can banish negative energies, and you can also use that as not just in your home, but you can use that on yourself as well, being able to banish negative energies. You can also use bells as a form of protection as well to keep evil spirits at bay, bad spirits at bay, what have you. And bells can also be a way of calling forth entities as well. When she showed me the bells, it was almost as if this guide was using it not just as a form of protection, but almost as if she was using it to be saying like, hey, this is one way you can call upon me. So interesting way of things for this spirit guide. I don't usually have spirit guides tell me, hey, this is a way of getting in touch with me. So very interesting. And the other thing that was on her belt is a satchel, and the satchel has the rune marking for journey. Journeying, when we look at the rune for journeying, we need to take time and sometimes take a pause in our journeys. And sometimes that is for healing benefit. And we need to go through this healing process in order to overcome any obstacles that are currently in our way, in order to find viable solutions in order to overcome them. And then the other part of the journeying is that when we are doing journeying, sometimes it's important to know that when we are doing, especially spirit journeying of any sort, that the journey is mostly done with ourselves only, and we can't exactly bring people along, only because of what we experience and what we go through is individual to us and us alone. We can share these experiences with others, but when we are going through the process and when we are healing and we are going through the process for self-development and spiritual journeying to further ourselves, that process is kind of like a lone wolf process. So it's kind of hard to bring someone along when we need to be the ones experiencing our spiritual journeys on our own, and without distraction, right? When we have someone present going, oh, what's this, what's that, what does this do, it becomes distracting, and we might not be able to get to the end process of what we need to be doing. So it's very important that when we do spiritual journeying, that we go about it in our own way and on our own. There's no problem with sharing the experiences afterwards when we've gone through it. It's just so much that when we go through the journey itself, it's best if we are to do it by ourselves. It's always okay to ask for guidance here and there, but I mean, that's why we have a spirit team too, right? We have a spirit team to help us and guide us through this. The spirit guide coming through really was very much with all the symbologies about there's a lot of spiritual aspects, a lot of spiritual journeys ahead, a lot of learning that's coming through. The other thing is that with this spiritual journey, there's going to be almost like a self-awareness for this individual. So it's almost like this is going to be a very, not rocky, but more of like eyes open concept, where that self-development piece and that spiritual piece kind of intermingle with each other, and it's almost as if that spirit piece, you'll be able to, like, this person's going to be able to utilize it even in the mundane, with what they're going to be doing, or it will be more like a part of them in the mundane, if that makes sense. So kind of like the idea of, say, my physical clairvoyance is part of my mundane, right? Me seeing things that are right in front of me is part of my mundane. So it's almost like that. I think the spiritual awakening or spiritual attunement, what this person is going to be experiencing, it's definitely going to bring about even more self-awareness or self-development for this individual, for certain. And I think this guide is going to be right beside them, going through it in the most nurturing way possible, as far as teachers go. I've met quite a few teacher guides that are very straightforward and to the point, and this guide is actually quite nurturing and comforting, almost like a motherly kind of figure, that kind of vibration coming through. Just very, take you by the hand, I'll lead you, I'll teach you, it's okay. So very, very cool energy, very cool messages coming through. So hopefully this painting will reach its destination and be happy at home. Anyways, so I hope you enjoyed this video about my spirit guide painting, and If you want your own spirit guide painting or your own past life painting, feel free to message me on Twitter at psychic_mummy, or you can also email me at jasmineseternalcircle@gmail.com. All right, have a good night, folks. Bye for now.